Welcome back to another manager's blog. Firstly, just apologising, as not the sort of usual case. I normally get these up Saturday evening or by Sunday the latest, but it's Monday today. Just been a few things to sort of following on from sort of Saturday's disastrous 5-0. Not so much the defeat, but like the performance. And I needed sort of certain time for me to get my sort of head around it myself, because obviously anybody who's following us would know it's been a disappointing start to the season with 3 defeats out of 4. So I needed to take a bit of time to sort of get my head round of what has gone on with the team and stuff before coming in just sort of making a video for the sake of making a video. Yesterday, I said, normally is where I spend a lot of days sort of editing and recording like these videos and editing the full match and the highlights package and stuff like that. But you'll see this weekend I've sort of gone with just the highlight package, which it's a sort of hell of a lot quicker to put together, because I needed time myself to focus on first and foremost ahead of making videos, making podcasts, being an editor, being a club owner, whatever. First and foremost, I needed to get my head around it as a manager, and that's my sort of default position within this club. Like I said, I'm a club owner along with Sam and Ash, and obviously responsible for doing a lot of stuff in the club and the running of the club. But sort of right here, right now, at the forefront of everything for me is also as I'm the manager, and that has to always come first with that, in terms of when we're sort of going through what we're going through and focusing on the team. So that's why the reason that the sort of video's a little bit later this week. But I spent a lot of time Saturday night, but in particular yesterday, watching videos of just our games right from the start of pre-season. So there's like 20 odd games to review, and I've spent quite a bit of time going through those videos and just analysing what's been happening, what I think is going wrong. And obviously I'm not going to give things away on this video, but for the first time I was feeling as a manager, feeling not the pressure, but at the same time pressure, which pressure is like I put on myself as a manager. And from the sort of fellow owners, Ash and Sam, they've been absolutely fine. There's no sort of issues on that. But in the sort of pressure myself as a manager, and I needed to understand and get my head around what's actually gone on with the start, and why have we looked so good in the sort of start mid of pre-season to now, where we seem to be really struggling. And I spent several hours yesterday reviewing things, and I had a few things in mind, but I wanted to review it, and obviously that takes time. And I'm pleased to say and delighted to say I've in my head I've cracked it in terms of what we're currently doing and up to what we should be doing. And the real thing for me now is I feel like a lot of sort of pressure relieved on me, because the one thing I didn't like, said putting pressure on myself in terms of that, was what the hell's going on, and just sort of the questions in my own head, which I now have answers to. And it's something we're all together tomorrow night with in training, and something I will go through with the team in terms of getting back to some basics of how we operate on the football pitch. So it was a really good day for me as a manager, and time needed myself to sort of get my head round of what's been going on. And I think the pressure sort of seeped into the players a little bit as well. I thought we were a little bit, for the first time out of the 4 games, I thought we were a little bit edgy. Well, we were definitely edgy in our play Saturday, and I think we know as a club and as a team and as players what the pressure is on us, because we know what we're capable of achieving this year. And I think with not the greatest of starts in terms of points wise, I think the players felt that a little bit this week as well. And that's part of the thing. What I will take sort of going forward is to take some of this pressure off the players and getting them back to enjoying like sort of playing football and sort of enjoying their time in the club, and doing what we all set out as an amateur football club. We're a very serious club, but at the end of the day, it's like it's an amateur football club, and we're not being paid sort of tens of thousands of pounds each week, where we do it because we enjoy it and we're close and good mates. And I think there's a little bit of that as well, of making sure we don't lose that and getting back into that, whereas actually first and foremost enjoyable for everybody involved in the club. And that would be certainly sort of a big sort of focus as well going forward, of taking that off the players if one or two or all of them are feeling a little bit pressure because of the start, to alleviate some of that and get back to it, sort of enjoying what we're doing. But with the things I'm going to be going over with the players on Tuesday on the training pitch and stuff, like I said, it's certainly a bit of back to basics, and I know it is not going to be long before this team is firing on all cylinders, because we got really good players in our side and we got a great team. So it's just a little bit got lost in over the last couple of games, bit of pressure applied, bit sort of panicky, a bit stiff when we're playing, and it sort of resulted in the results in the capitulation of the 5-0 defeat on Saturday, where it's certainly the sort of lowest point for me, I think, Saturday, and it was a sort of shambles sort of all over, really. Can't fault the players for lack of effort, because they really did try, they battled hard. Just our quality let us down massively on Saturday, some of the very sort of basic fundamental stuffs, and this is where I think it's a sort of a little bit edgy from the players, of first touches, dribbles, ball sort of not being controlled, and that's really sort of not unlike us. So for me, it's been a really positive weekend. I'm a positive person, but in spite of the sort of really poor performance and what have gone on in the club this weekend, for me it's a real positive, because what it's allowed us to do is sort of just stand back and take stock and look at, actually, let's have a deeper sort of dive from me as a manager on what's happening, and it probably, if we sort of muddle through and get a draw Saturday, that sort of real sort of emphasis probably isn't put on that so much. So I think it's a real positive. It's what's happened. We've lost. We've had a bad start, but it's sort of give me real clarity in terms of what we need to do, what we need to stop, what we need to start, what we need to continue with, and where we go from here on in. And I know and I trust these players 100%. It is a matter of time. Hopefully it's this Saturday we're home to FC United of Yate Reserves. But do you know what? If it's not this Saturday, if it's the next Saturday or the Saturday after, so be it. The bigger picture is there's a lot of games in this league this year. I'm still fully confident we're going to have a great season, and I think it's only a matter of time before we start put sort of a stop to the losses and start turning games around. It's going to happen, because these players are too good to not to carry on in this sort of the form we're in at the moment. So I'm really relaxed about that, and I think the players need to, and it's certainly the message I'll be giving to the players. They need to relax as well and trust themselves. It's not about trusting me as a manager, as I coach and guide and sort of set the standards and sort of help how I think we need to play. But at the end of the day, whether it's 4-4-2, 5-3-2, whatever the formation we play, it's the players who's going to win us the games, and I got absolute full confidence in this team and these players and these group of lads. They're all young, they're getting better and better week in and week out, and part of that process, which we've talked about even last year, is not going to be a straight line. It's not always going to be a straight line improvement of getting better. Sometimes it's you improve and then you have a couple of setbacks and learn from them, and that's life in sort of most aspects of life and most industries. It's never sort of as simple as a straight line sort of improvement where you go from 0 to 100. So the players need to understand that. They got my absolute full backing, and they will absolutely turn this around, and we're going to get back to winning ways and sort of back to where we know we can be. So it's going to be a good week, as bad as it was the weekend. I said I'm glad it's happened, because it feels like a bit of a mini crisis point, and I think that just shows you the sort of pressure we've put on ourselves when actually it's not a crisis point. And Sam and Ash made this point when we were talking about it, like sort of for the players, they're young. It's not this season all or nothing. It's not this opening month all or nothing. There's a long time ahead of us and a long time ahead of these players. And once we get back to our basics, and it's only going to be a matter of time. As I said, the sort of the skill, the level of class, what we have in some of our players and some of our squad in the squad, it forms, as I know it's a saying, forms temporary, class is permanent. If you're good, you're good. You could be playing bad and out of form, and that goes for us as a team, not so much as individuals. As a team, we're a little bit out of form and lost our way a little bit, but that's the class in what we do have in our side. That's going to prevail, and it's just a matter of time before that comes out. So to my players, just let's relax, let's get back to basics, let's start sort of enjoying it and take that pressure off, and within a couple of weeks, couple of games, we're going to be back on that sort of that trail of moving up the table and getting the results we want, and hopefully then what we want to achieve this year becomes more realistic. It's hard to see at the moment when you're sort of in the sort of bottom half of the table and sort of looking up, but there's a lot of teams in this league, a lot of fixtures this year, and whether it's too early to call, but whether there's last year there was sort of runaway leaders and you think, well, it's probably already over catching them. I just don't see that this year, but I said it is early stages. So I think everybody's taking points off everybody, and I think that'll continue this year, and that gives us a great chance. But yeah, so it's a bad weekend, but I think a good weekend, looking back at it, because I think it allows us to reset, and it's going to be onwards and upwards, and I can't wait for tomorrow night to go through some of the things which I know, which is going to help us turn it around, and sort of be talk with the players and then sort of get back on it, and then once the training's done, we'll be looking forward ahead to the weekend's game. So I know it probably do sound like an idiot, and sometimes I'm called like an eternal optimist, which I think we can be looked at idiots for people like that, but there is absolute positives in the bad weekend and the bad week we've had in the club, and it has allowed us, like I said, to reset, and I got fresh impetus myself, where I've been sort of down the weekend with the start, but it's I've certainly got that spring in my step now of what we need to do to go on and turn the season around. So yeah, so a bit of an explanation of what I've gone on this weekend and why the video's late, but as always, thanks for watching these videos and your support. Again, please like and subscribe, share our social media posts, which is always on going through our channels on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, X, we're the TikTok, we're always up and posting, and we appreciate the support you guys give us with watching videos and sharing posts, but please continue to do so. And yeah, it's me signing off, and I will be back with another video at some point this week, probably previewing our Saturday home game against FC United of Yate. But yeah, until then, I will speak to you